Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic preparation of project proposal, identification of suitable methodology and structure of thesis. Myself Arshida A, second MSc Biology, St. Mary's College, Thrissur. Preparation of project proposal. Project proposal is a simply structured formal document that explains what you plan to research, that is your research topic, and why it's worth researching, that is your justification, and how you plan to investigate it, that is your practical approach. Elements of project proposal: title, background, statement of the problem, objective of research, literature review, hypothesis or research question, scope and limitation of the study, and methodology. Title. Title is the first thing that helps the reader to understand the nature of the work. The title should be concise and clear and short, focused, and describe what your research is about. We must avoid ambiguous and confusing words. Background. Background includes the definition of the topic of research and magnitude of the problem and the brief element on what is already known about our project and a statement on what is not known and what is the research question to be answered. Statement of the problem. The problem statement describes the context for the study and it also identifies the general analysis approach. A problem statement is a clear description of the issue. It includes a vision and a method that used to solve the problem. It explains that how the research will contribute to the existing body of knowledge. Objective of the research. It states what the research hopes to accomplish. Objectives are very specific issues through which the aim is going to be achieved. Objectives should be crafted very carefully as one is expected to fulfill all the objectives at the end of your research. Literature review. Literature review provides background and context for the research problem. It should establish the need for research and indicate that the writer is knowledgeable about the area. Shows that you have theoretical knowledge in your chosen research area. Hypothesis or research questions. Based on your experience with the study problem, it might be possible to develop explanations for the problems, which can then be tested. If so, you can formulate hypotheses in addition to study the objectives. Methodology. Methodology section. This is the heart of project proposal. The following aspects should be discussed while writing this. That is the design of the study, population and sampling, research instruments, pilot study, instrumentation ability and validity, method of data collection, and ethical issues. Identification of suitable methodology. The methodology section or method section tells you how the author went about doing the research. It should let you know what method they used to gather data, that is the surveys, interview, experiments, etc. Why they choose this method and what the limitations are to this method. When you read the methodology or method section, what kind of research method did the author use? So, when you read the methodology or method section, some questions are developed in our mind. That is, what kind of research method did the authors use? And that method, is it an appropriate method for the type of study they are conducting? And how did the authors get their test subjects and what criteria did they use? What are the context of the study that may have affected the results, that is the environmental conditions or lab conditions, timing, questions, etc. How to write a research methodology. These are the steps to write a research methodology. First, restate your thesis or research problem. Explain the approach you choose and explain any uncommon methodology you choose. Describe how you collected the data you use. Evaluate and justify the methodological choices you made. Discuss any obstacles and their solutions and cite all sources used to determine your choice of methodology. Structure of thesis. Thesis is a certificate that the author has been trained for doing independent research. and that is in the form of a report along with some mandatory certificates, which includes findings of the research work done by the student in partial fulfillment of his or her academic requirement. The internationally accepted maximum length of a master's thesis is 50,000 words and PhD thesis is 1 lakh words. The size shall be within the range of 40,000 to 60,000 words. A dissertation is also a certificate for education and conduct PhD research. The research reports submitted as a part of master's degree and MPhil program of traditional universities are called dissertations, comparatively shorter in length than a thesis, and the size is usually 20,000 to 25,000. But in USA, thesis and dissertation are just the opposite of what we have already seen. Parts of a thesis. A thesis has three main parts: preliminary pages, subject proper, references. Preliminary pages consist of title page, signature page, declaration by the student, acknowledgements, table of contents, list of figures, list of tables, list of symbols, abbreviations or nomenclature. Subject proper section consists of introduction, review of literature, materials and methods, results, discussion, summary and conclusion. And references section consists of appendices and abstract. Abstract is although not a part of the thesis, but it is also considered along with it. Preliminary pages of a thesis. The title already approved by the academic bodies must be used. For a thesis, two title pages are usually given. First is the cover page with the title of thesis, author's name and department and college name. In the second title page, the title name, mandatory name of the thesis, faculty name, name of the department, name of the institute or college are given, and the title of thesis in capital letters. Certificate pages. After the title pages, the signature page having the signatures of all the members of the advisory committee is given. Signature page is immediately followed by the declaration by the student, and then certificate from the guide is given. There may be slight variations in style between universities. These two certificates declare that thesis is a bona fide one and unethical practices were not employed in its production. For the above certificates, language and style and the formats should be prescribed by the institution. Acknowledgements. Acknowledgement section has almost attained the status of an obligatory part of a thesis, and separate page is earmarked for it, usually given at the beginning just before the table of contents. Students have to acknowledge the help from their research supervisor or guide, all the members of the advisory committee, the department, the financing authority and others if any. Avoid effusive and out of control acknowledgements. Better to use first person. Example, the author wishes to acknowledge the help is rather old fashioned and not straightforward. Instead, you may start the sentences I wish to acknowledge the help, etc. And try to avoid the colloquial usages such as bye, didi, chetan, chechi, etc. And gratitude may be expressed to your friends and also, but never go on adding names. Table of contents. Except title pages, certificates and acknowledgements, all other major divisions of the thesis should be listed in the table of contents. List the entries in the table of contents as given in the text. If subheadings of a chapter are given in the table of contents, parallel subheadings of all other chapters should also be given. If you have followed decimal numbering for headings, include this also in the table of contents. Further ensure that the page numbers entered in the table of contents are correct. List of tables. All the tables given in thesis should be listed and the same captions should be used in thesis as given with the tables. List of figures. Figures or illustrations are listed separately and should be numbered in Arabic numerals 1, 2, 3 and so on. All type of illustrations, maps, diagrams, photographs should be referred to as figure in text. However, the term plate is often used for a full page of photographs. The plates are numbered in capitalized Roman numerals. For example, plate 1, plate 2 and so on. Individual photographs on the plates are numbered in Arabic numerals. For example, a third photograph on a plate will be referred to in the text as plate 3, figure 3. A separate list of such plate has to be provided after the list of tables and figures. Dedication. There is a tendency of students to dedicate the thesis to someone they love or remember or even to Almighty. This practice should be discouraged. Research guide should advise the students properly in this regard. This is strictly an academic document, a certificate, therefore it should not carry any dedication. If you are very particular, instead of dedication, express your indebtedness in the acknowledgement section. Subject proper. IMRAD structure, that is introduction, materials and methods, review of literature, acknowledgement, discussion. That is the IMRAD structure must be followed for your thesis. In a thesis, each part of IMRAD is prepared in separate chapters in a comprehensive manner, and main body of a thesis is divided into 6 chapters, namely introduction, review of literature, materials and methods, results, discussion and summary. In a thesis, a comprehensive review of literature is given as an independent chapter immediately after introduction. Similarly, results and discussion are presented in a detailed manner in separate chapters with appropriate tables, diagrams and other illustrations, unlike a research paper where they are usually combined. Abstract is generally attached at the beginning or end of a thesis, begin with chapter 1, page 1 and contains all the subsequent chapters Each chapter should bear a distinct title. Introduction. Introduction consists sufficiently comprehensive, brief as this forms the first chapter. Introduction introduces the reader to the state or knowledge before starting the research, defines the gap in knowledge, states what the student planned to do. A is to tell the reader the justification and rationale in taking up the research work. State the significance of the study as an answer to the question, why did you start the experiment? Review of literature. The introduction part of the IMRAD structure is generally expanded to give a comprehensive review of literature as a separate chapter. A comprehensive review of the works done on the subjects selected for the study and the lacunae in the subjects are present in this chapter. After going through the review, one should get an answer to the question, what was the level of knowledge on the chosen topic just before the experiment? The review must be divided into sections with the subheadings. Present the findings of various authors, interconnecting them with your observations. Some students may simply list the findings in a chronological order and the quote references may not have any relationship. In a thesis, the review is meant to present not only up-to-date knowledge of the field but also the intellectual ability of the student to synthesize and put together information from different sources. And proper guidance from the research guide is necessary to have a good review of literature. Materials and methods. After reading the chapter on materials and methods, one should get an answer to the question, what did the students do? The answer must include the details of materials used, that is land, soil, plants, animals, patients, chemicals or others, and the method or techniques employed in both the laboratory and the field. Sampling procedures adopted and the time and method of observations are usually described. Details on experimental design, replication, blocking, and the statistical techniques used to analyze the results are also mentioned. If you have used a computer program, that should also be mentioned with the reference details. Results. The data collected and compiled are described in this chapter. Results. This is the most important part of a thesis. In this section, you present your findings with supporting data. This chapter must answer the question, what did the student find? Results therefore should communicate the facts, measurements and observations gathered by the student, supported by data in tables, diagrams, graphs and photographs. And this is the backbone of a thesis. So this section should provide the most critical information about the study supported by data, following the researcher how the hypothesis is not supported. Discussion. Discussion is the most difficult section to write. The discussion should answer the question, what do the results mean and how do they relate to what is already known. It is in the discussion that the student contributes something to the existing knowledge. The primary purpose of the discussion section is to show the relationships among observed facts. So this chapter must show how far the objectives set out or assumptions made at the start of the experiment are proved or disproved. So in the discussion section, we discuss the results and do not repeat the results once again. Students must clearly understand that the function of a discussion section is to interpret the results properly and not to simply repeat the results in some other ways. Summary. The gist of a thesis is prepared as a separate chapter and give under the title Summary and Conclusion. Summary is summing up of all the messages. So this part in the thesis must include an introduction, materials and methods in brief, main findings and conclusion. Begin the summary with a problem statement briefly describing the context of the thesis work, its importance and significance. State the original objectives of the study which you have aimed at the beginning of thesis. State your hypothesis or research question followed by summarizing the materials and methods to achieve the objectives. List your results in order of decreasing significance, that is, with the most important contribution first. As a part of summary, you may also suggest possible future line of work that could be done as a future thesis or departmental work. References. So this section indicates the sources from which the students has obtained the information. There are two parts to a reference citation. First, the way in which the item is cited in the text when it is quoted or discussed. Second is the way in which it is listed in the references section at the end of a document. Citation and listing of works of other researchers must be done carefully. Prepare a complete list of works cited in text according to the name-year system. Appendices. Sometimes materials such as original raw data, survey schedules and meteorological data which may distract the reader from main theme or make the next unduly and poorly structured are given as appendices after the list of references. Thank you.